All right. Well, hey, folks, here we are for another session for the Off the Grid show. I wanted to welcome today's guest, Indigo Phoenix, an amazing
Yeah, yeah.
lyricist. Yeah, I appreciate your time. I look forward to chopping it up.
Likewise.
Cool. Well, hey, first, yeah, do you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself? Tell us where you're exactly from and tell us how long you've been making music.
From Brooklyn, New York. Currently live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yup.
And I've been making music. I probably started messing around trying to rap like in 2000.
Okay.
Uh, my mother used to always entertain in the kitchen, and so we had this big table. So it would be me, my husband of now was my boyfriend then, and my brother, my play
Uh-huh.
brother, and we would just sit there and rap and
Nice.
play around. My mother called us the kitchen crew.
I love it. The early start. Well, hey,
Yeah,
so at the
so
time,
yeah, it was just having fun playing around. I think the first um track I wrote to was a Queen Latifah
ah,
instrumental. I can't
okay.
remember what album it was, but she had like this instrumental on there, and I just
Uh-huh.
rapped to that. And ever since then, I kind of had an affinity for it. But initially, I used to write poetry.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so I moved to the mosque, or tabernacle, should I say, when I was 18. I'm Nuwapian, so Dr. York is my teacher. So but I
Okay.
moved to the mosque and I was practicing Sufism. I used to write poems. So
Okay.
I used to take the poems and turn them into songs. So I like writing songs. But then, we watched TV. So one day I saw The Doors, Jim Morrison.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, I could take my poems and rap, maybe, So, all I do is pray, meditate all day. It's just me and the couple who live in the mosque with me because we were actually starting up a mosque um
Okay.
from
Wow.
scratch. Yeah, so it was like it's just us. So I'm sitting there being creative, and I saw Jim Morrison turn the poems into songs, and I turned the poems into songs. Then later into rap. So Jim Morrison was kind of like one of my musical influences as far as
Wow.
creating, taking my poetry and changing it. But my main musical influence, rap wise, as far as women goes, would be like Muhammadia. Like when I
Yes.
heard her, it definitely uh, sparked the interest in me. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
start rapping right away when I heard her, but it initially, I knew that if I did, I wanted to be in the vein of that, eloquent but
Yeah.
hard, and something respectable, no sexual connotations behind it. So that she's and I've told her personally, like she is
Oh, super
that
cool.
person for me. Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, I used to love she has a song, You Know How We Do, and Special Forces that I really
Right.
like. But
You
woo,
know how
she's
we
amazing.
do.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, that's great. So, man, wow, a lot of influence from the Doors, and then influence from poetry. And so, as you were transitioning and starting to become an MC, I mean, first off, in my opinion, if you're dope, you're dope, and in general, gender shouldn't matter. But I did want to ask, were there any challenges during your musical journey because of being a female as you were becoming an MC?
Yeah, it for one, it was always about the looks,
Okay.
plus size woman, and in the industry at that time they wanted skinny,
Yeah.
stripperish, which is still the thing today. Skinny,
I hear
barely
that.
wearing clothes, stripper vibes, sexual
Yeah,
energy, and I was a more of a conscious rapper.
that's
So
right.
it was kind of like I'm spitting about doctrine and uplifting the community, and that wasn't really what people wanted to hear. And I didn't have that look that that they wanted from females. So that's what made me stop rapping in all
Oh,
actuality.
wow.
I
Oh, yeah.
started doing battle rap in 2007 with loud.com,
Okay.
and that's when I started rapping. I made a joint called Allah's Daughter,
Woo.
and Professor Griff hit me. It was like, yo, you're dope. You sound like a hardcore Brooklyn
Oh,
dude.
how crazy.
I
How
would
did
love
he
to have
spot
dinner
you?
with you, chop it up. So actually
Yeah.
met with Professor Griff, me and my producer, and we spoke with him about the music and the direction of music and me being a woman and with that type of a message. And
Yeah.
then in the loud.com, they had a competition and I
Okay.
was chosen as top five by RZA. So yeah, it was pretty
Oh,
dope. Yeah, but then I stopped because of what you were saying, like
oh
me
my
as a
gosh.
female and not fitting what they deemed the standard. I stopped all that time. So
Oh my
12
gosh.
years later, I come back and drop my first project in
Okay.
2019. Like I just completely just went off the grid. So I was like,
Oh
okay.
my,
Yeah.
wow, that's wild. And hey, you've been on fire. Holy cow, you have such amazing albums
Thank
and
you.
yeah, yeah, it's quite impressive. And I'm gonna talk to you some of the albums. I did a lot of homework and I've been listening to you for a minute now, and so I'm excited to get into it. And so, yeah, it's interesting. Wow, man, like RZA, Professor Griff, were they songs that you submitted online, or were they videos, or how
Allah's
did they?
daughter was just on my MySpace and he saw it on my MySpace and inboxed me.
Oh, what? That's the best.
Right. And RZA, it was a competition. So
Okay.
out of thousands, I was selected as top five by RZA.
Oh man, what an honor by the RZA
Right.
himself
Yeah,
too.
definitely. And I was the only female. So that was a definite, boost of I know I'm in the right direction,
That's
as
right.
far as my flow and where I was going with it on a lyrical note where I wanted to be at. But
Yeah,
by mainstream and whatever standards they had, I wasn't uh, fitting the bill for what they wanted.
man, I love your content and just the
Thank
way that you
you.
portray yourself and the messaging that you do on social media. It's fantastic. Just that
Thank
self confidence is very strong. And so this here's my favorite question to ask folks is what's the story behind your name? How did you get Indigo Phoenix?
you. This is gonna be a wild answer. Okay.
All right.
Will Smith is such a topic of controversy. Um, Willow Smith
Yep.
and Jaden Smith.
Okay.
I was listening to the music. I was actually it wasn't the with my hair. It was the singing from Willow.
Okay.
And she has a very unique when she started getting into alternative bag. So I started listening to a lot of what she was saying and then like tapping in like okay people would say oh these kids are weird and she made sense. I'm clairvoyant. I have certain abilities and premonitions, things like that. So I
Okay.
never knew that it was a particular type of individual who have those abilities or qualities, or
Sure.
that there were other people who knew of those qualities, and they're called indigo children.
Oh
They're
wow.
star seeds and things of that nature. So when she spoke on that, I went and took the indigo test. And it's
Okay.
like, oh, okay, that explains my weirdness. I am an indigo child.
Oh, super cool.
Right. So indigo initially was just an indicator that I'm an indigo child.
Okay.
And then, you know what I'm saying? I had my name used to be Phoenix the Firebird, but I just changed it and took off that and just was using Phoenix. Before
Oh
that,
man.
it was Bangkok Blaze, but then the dude Blaze came out rapping, so I changed it from that. Somebody actually gave me the name Phoenix. They was like, "You seem like a phoenix. And I thought about that name. I said, I like that. It's
Yeah.
synonymous with the fire from the blaze. And then as I
Yeah.
get more
Rise.
into it, yeah,
Oh.
like I've literally probably what I've probably died and been resuscitated, I think 4 to 5 times. So I'm an actual phoenix in itself. Like
Whoa.
I die, come back. I'm like, oh, I'm back again.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love the name and the story behind it. See, it's always
Right. And
cool
I've
just to get
actually
to
had
know
the
the back.
premonition that I would die when I was 17 and come back. And it happened when I was like, what, 27? So,
Wow.
yeah, that was crazy. So it was like, okay. So then Indigo Phoenix was just supposed to be that Instagram thing. But bam, Shabam Sadiq was like, yo, you should make Indigo Phoenix your rap name. And I was like, you
Oh
think
my gosh.
so?
Holy cow.
And I was like, so call myself first name Indigo, last name Phoenix. He's like, yeah, Indigo Phoenix. So that's how I'm now Indigo, Indy, and all of those other things.
I love it. Holy cow. That's great. What a cool story.
Thank you.
Oh man. And hey, you got man. It says a lot too if Shabam Sadiq is coming up and giving some advice too, right? So I've been a fan of him
Always
too for a
right.
long time. The double S. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
SS.
Yeah. Y'all been friends for a long time or just you guys meet through the
Uh,
music scene?
I met Bam at an A3C show.
Okay.
I was actually at this show going to meet Mike Hands
Okay.
to give him some cassettes from Meet the Exotic that
Oh,
he had
crazy.
mailed to me to to take to the show. So when I went to the show to meet Mike Hands, um, my husband know the owner of the place because it was in this big studio, but the studio had stage and all of that stuff. So I'm in the
Okay.
back. I love cats. I'm obsessed with cats. I'm in the back playing with the cat.
I love it.
And my husband's talking to the owner, and I'm up here just, I'm like, what? What's getting hot up in here? Sweating bullets. So I go in the hall, and Bam's in the hall. Where's there any napkins? I said, I don't know. Let me find us some. I guess I'll go in his kitchen. I go in there and get some paper towel and hand him the paper towel. And I introduce myself. He introduced himself. And I
Uh-huh.
didn't know who he was. And then he went and started rapping. And I was like, oh, shit, he's dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I had followed him. And when I started working with the blog, I hit him up
Okay.
for an interview.
Yep.
And we became friends from there. I was like, I want to try to get back to recording and stuff. So
Yeah.
I hadn't recorded anything yet then. That was like 2015, 2016. So around
Okay.
2017, we did the interview, and then he invited me to his crib to come record. He got a recording studio at his crib. Went
Oh,
over
so cool.
there and recorded, and we've been like really cool ever since then. Like we've been locked in,
Oh, very
doing
cool.
shows together. Not only is that my friend, that's like my business partner when it comes to curating hip hop shows. So yeah, we've been locked in since then. So it's been about uh 6 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. It
Hmm.
sounds like that that he was very critical in getting you back into music, right?
He
So
was,
very
he
cool.
was, he was
Yeah.
very vital to that. As
Well,
well as
thank you,
innocent.
Shabab Sadiq. Yeah.
Yeah, and innocent flow as well because I initially wanted to start and I was watching Eno on a live and he was playing all his music and showing his videos. I was like, wow, he has an extensive catalog. And I was like, well, I rap and I was letting him hear some of the beats. I emailed them to him and he said,
Uh-huh.
hold on, watch this. And he sends me back a track with Tech from Smith and Wesson.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
did
all
it?
right. Okay. He said,
Oh,
wait, I'm not done yet. He sends me back a
oh,
track with Fame from MOP.
oh man, legends. Holy cow.
So
Oh,
now he laced both of my tracks and added them as features to my tracks that I sent him. So it was just dope. So that was kind of I always had those in the tuck for a minute, and then when I came out with Aldunia, I released those finally.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, super
Hmm.
cool. What a quite cool experience. And shout out to your love for cats. I love cats too.
Yes.
We
Shout
had
out to
our last
Kitty.
cat. Yeah, we had this amazing black cat that we've had for 18 years. It recently just passed, but
Oh,
So yeah, yeah. But we got a new one, so we adopted one, and
look,
yeah, yeah. We got.
my
Oh man.
family won't let me have one. My daughter tempted me with one the other day because
Oh,
I get so emotional about the cat. Something happens to the cat, child. You had to practically carry me away. I think one time one
uh,
of my cats passed. My job actually gave me like 2 weeks off. I couldn't function. I feel like
oh.
my cats are like my baby, so I'm like really super
I
emotional
hear
about
that.
cats. So my family really hates for me to have them.
Yeah, I used to be a dog person. I don't know what happened. I didn't like cats before, and then my wife
Right.
got one, and then I just kind of fell in love. So I feel you.
You know what it was when I was a child, and we grew up latchkey kids. My grandmother worked a lot, and she was a maid, and she used to always be in the city working. And I always had a cat there with me. Being a little girl, I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. The cat was there, so the cat was ever constant friend for
Yeah,
me.
that's
Don't
right.
open the door,
Yeah,
don't go out the house. You feel
yeah,
it's me and the cat. So even in the mosque, they got me a cat. So cat, even when I'm alone, like there's always that companion of a cat. So I really love cats.
yeah. Me too. And just and also too, the spiritual connection. And how they say like
Hmm.
cats are connectors into the other world. And I
I
just loved
believe
all.
that
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
me too. Yeah. So I got attached to all that the stories behind it, and so I got a special affinity for cats too. So cool.
Right.
Well, good. Well, hey, with music, so hey, you took a long break, 12 years, and then you're back in the scene, pre-COVID, and so the current state of hip hop, are you enjoying how it's continuing to evolve? Do you have any favorites in terms of like what you're listening to, or let's hear
I
it.
mean, let me say this about hip hop. The people who are hip hop purists that just want things to sound boom bappy all the time. I
Yep.
get it. You like that era. You love that.
Mhm.
I feel like there's room for every style, and that's why I approach. I think when
Absolutely.
people listen to my music, you hear I do every style there is. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't have too much of an attachment to an older sound, but I do like newer sounds or darker sounds because I like
Yep.
horror films and I gravitate towards the beats that motivate me more so. But I do like jazzy um, production too. But I feel like hip hop, you have to let it evolve. Where it's going to a certain extent, as far as it hasn't stopped over sexualizing women. It hasn't stopped
Sure.
putting those women on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Instead of actually pushing real talent, I feel like it's taking
Yep.
steps backwards as far as progression. The journalism is trashy,
Yeah.
gossipy, chatty, catty. The DJs don't break new artists like we used to sit patiently and wait to hear what fresh talent the DJs will come out with.
Yes.
And all they do is follow the trend and tag along
Yeah.
and for lack of better words, cloud chase the popular people and to the point
Yeah.
they want to be on the album, they gotta be on the scratch, they gotta be you feel what I'm saying? They not focused
Yes.
on fresh talent or emerging talent. And
Yeah.
so a lot of steps I see in the hip hop goes backwards. It's not
Yep.
forward progression when everybody is clout chasing and attention seeking. It
Yeah.
takes away from the freshness of it all. You
Yeah.
could look like, you know what I'm saying, a gorilla in the face and be a female rapper and you would thrive. Now, if you're not showing, chest and you don't have a BBL and lip fillers and you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like you're not being paid attention to. And I feel like that's the issue I have with the current state of it
Yeah.
is it's not progressing in certain ways that it should because I feel like there's a lot of gatekeepers who
Sure.
don't want it to progress to a certain direction and they keep it stagnant to a certain extent. You make it seem like people are progressing, but the main people who should don't, and the people thrive with the least uplifting, positive messages. Those people
Yeah,
are like the head of the pack, and that's the
yeah,
problems when you look up to, I don't knock any of the females because people are going to be who they are, so I can't
sure.
judge. This chick is, she ratchety, she used to be a stripper, that's her, and that's
Hmm.
organic and authentic to who she is.
Yep.
But I feel like there still has to be a variety. We can't be like, oh, we people always say they want this and that in hip hop. Then how do these people always wind up being on the
That's right.
top if you want something different? Because you're not pushing for what you want, and y'all lying behind the scenes. You really pushing for this type of music,
Okay.
and it's all based off of looks, clout, and who people are aligned with. Oh, if they
Yeah.
align, they with Griselda. Ooh, they dope. They with this
Yeah.
and that. They dope. If you with a particular crew, you're dope. So everything just goes off of cloud, rarely off of talent. So I feel like it's just disheartening to see it kind of wavering a little bit. And with this being the 50th anniversary of it,
Yeah.
you know, um, the positive things I could say is there are a lot of females who still push positive messages,
Yeah.
and people gotta go and search and look for them. Stop saying there's not those type of MCs out there, because there are.
Like you.
And then our
Yeah.
elders and the pioneers are
Yeah.
still persevering, doing their
Yes.
thing, and I'm proud of them for keep pushing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. And so
We need
just
to show them more. We need to show them more respect as the
yeah.
pioneers too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so that's why I feel like it doesn't progress, because 50 years in, they should be at a ticker tape parade for the pioneers. The people, oh, they're old, washed up, this and that. Like, that's not how we should be treating
That's
the
right.
pioneers of this culture, this craft. Nobody in rock and roll does that to their
Yeah.
elders, and that's the downfall of hip hop.
Yeah, and it's crazy because these are the same guys and gals who are selling out shows, right? And like, it's great. I think slowly, I hope they get the recognition that they deserve, and I love all
Right,
the tributes. And you're absolutely right. I'm a dude that's really big on lyrics too, as well, and I love positive messaging. So I'm with you on that, and yeah, just whatever I could do to just showcase all this old stuff or all the new
right,
MCs who are amazing. Like, yeah, they definitely need more love than what they're seeing. I agree. So thank you for
right,
sharing the perspective.
right.
Yeah, and so speaking of that, you gotta find dope MCs with dope content. That's you, right? And so, oh man, I went into your catalog and and I was listening to a lot of your older stuff. But I wanted to quickly talk about Raw Repertoire, right? The new album that you released a few
Yeah,
days ago, no
yeah.
features, and I love how you dedicated it to your mom.
Thank
And it
you.
was, yeah, 5 tracks produced by Kwenu, the Nigerian, who is also part of Rugged Triad Records, right?
Yes.
And so, man, first I want to start with track one, Wild Talk. And so I thought that was like the hardest hook ever, right? So, click clack, my bars got one hell of a kickback, shit crack. I was like, God, holy cow! Like hook writing is hard, right? And so I was like, oh shit, like yeah, that's the stuff like that gives me juice, right? And it's like
Right.
one of those MOP songs that make me go crazy and.
Well, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn and I'm from Brownsville, so of course,
Yeah, so
immediately, yes to all the brolicness, like
yeah, that was a hard hook, and so I was like,
right.
man,
And yo, click clack, my boss got one hell of a kickback, shit crack, addictive as fuck, nigga, we gets that.
I was like, I want to be in a show that Indigo Phoenix performs that song because, oh man. So I love that. And just the whole theme of the album with hard battle raps, I was feeling it. And so that was probably
Thank
my
you.
first favorite song. And then my second favorite song was Gunmetal. That was, again, I love the shout out to your mom was in there. And Every Day Without My Mother, Just Know I Hate It. I put it
Yes,
to make her proud. I hope that she's elated. So shout out.
thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. or just
Yes, my mother was my biggest fan,
yeah.
and like I said, yesterday was her birthday, and so
Ah,
that's why I
oh,
dedicated it
good.
to her. Because I'm like hardcore album dedicated to her because
Yeah.
I'm still moving. I think this probably my 23rd album
Hmm.
repertoire. 23rd, 25. I can't even remember which one. It's one of those in the 20s.
Yeah.
Um, but it she was like a very big fan of my music. She
Yes.
believed in me more than I believed in myself. Let's
That's
put it
it.
that way.
That's mama, man. Woo.
So with that being said, this whole musical journey I always dedicate to her, but I wanted to dedicate one album in particular to her
Yeah.
on her birthday because she would be proud. And it was just, I was having some feelings that I wanted to let out in the
Yeah.
music, and I felt like that was only fitting to dedicate that one to her.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I love that whole thing. You got to remember all the people who backed you, and nobody replaces mom. Mom is the best, right?
Right. Yeah. With her not being here anymore, it's just, it's tough, but I feel like, I pursue my stuff and make her proud. And
Hmm.
more so when she passed, that kind of lit a fire under me. I started working on the film. She passed in 2011. I started working on the film stuff because that's a passion of mine as well. I have a film company. I'm a screenwriter.
Oh wow.
So started my film company, started writing and amassing, uh, actors and writers and producers, things of that magnitude, and actually learn how to. I write films. I write all types of films, film business
Amazing.
plans, budgets. I do it all. Episodics, horror, sci-fi's, you name it, I do it.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. So throughout those years, I was cultivating, learning how to write film.
Wow.
And then 2019, then the music, like I said, it just struck me. Let me go ahead and start getting into this bag
Okay.
and pursuing all of my passions. And that's when I dropped the Goddess Paradox. So yes, I just, my mother's always back there in the back of my mind, and that's
Yep.
definitely my inspiration in everything I do.
I love it. Yeah, it's amazing. And so, and the messaging. I mean, in the song too. I mean, ooh, like creme de la creme. You ain't never got to settle. Top spot number one engraved on the metal. Man, it's deep. Man,
Yes, cold
I just
like
connected with that
gunmetal,
album.
piping hot like a fire under a kettle. Creme
Yeah.
de la creme, you ain't never gotta settle. Top
Uh,
spot number one engraved on the medal.
I was like, oh yeah, I was out for like a walk, and I just, oh man, it was just crazy. The album was wild. That so you got me on
Thank
the whole
you.
theme, and so that was a great album release. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just be sitting in here kicking the shit, and I'm like, I need a hook. And I'm sitting here, and the revolver's on the bed, and I touch it. I was like, cold, cold. I was like, oh, cold like gunmetal.
Oh, I
So I'm
love
like,
it.
oh yeah, the chrome revolver, cold metal. I said, oh wait, I got a hook.
Uh, and you're really good at hook writing too. So amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Thank
I
you.
enjoy.
A lot of times I don't do hooks, and people like, oh, you didn't do a hook. It's not because I can't do a hook. It's just some
Yeah.
songs don't require a hook. You know how you hear a song,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's so much, it's the verse and the hook. You just
Yeah.
want to sometimes let a track breathe and actually let
Yeah.
people soak in the production from the
Yeah.
producer. And I think on Barbaric Banter, he was like, no hook. I said, no hook. Let them hear that production from Quano. Let it breathe. Just let it rock out real quick.
That's a good point. Like, and I noticed that about your songs because I have a problem sometimes where I'm like, oh man, I got to say something, before before I drop the verse, and so I'm learning that now that you just got to let the beat breathe. I agree. So
Right.
sometimes just let it ride, and yeah, you're absolutely right.
Right. Let the beat breathe a little bit. Let it rock out just a tad bit. And I think I'm familiar with some of your music from my weekly rap god days.
Oh man, thank
The,
you, thank you.
yeah, so yeah, you already know. So yeah, that sounds like Romello. It sounds familiar. So I'm like, oh,
Done.
okay.
And so I went on and listened to Insidious Idols that was released also earlier this month, produced by Save Me. And so I
My
love the whole
twin.
horror theme. Yeah, very sinister sounding, like you had mentioned. And you said it already earlier. You're a big horror fan. What is the what's your favorite horror flick?
I can't name one favorite
That
horror
is
flick.
tough though. Yeah, yeah.
But you know what it is? The most scary one to me
Okay.
from when I was a child was The Shining. So that's why
Yeah.
Stephen King is like one of my favorites. But another scary one
Uh-huh.
was Candyman.
Woo!
Absolutely scared of that movie. Like when I saw that, I was like, ugh.
So I'm gonna put it online right now. I hate scary movies, right? They like,
Oh my god. Everybody
yeah.
says that, but I
Oh,
love, love, love. All the way you see I had Vincent Price, all the way back to Vincent Price.
yeah.
I love it. I watch Alfred Hitch every night. I record Alfred Hitchcock. I watch Alfred Hitchcock every night. Master of Suspense. I just love it. And Guillermo del Toro, he's a new favorite because he
Okay.
comes with some really good stuff. Crimson Peak was really creepy too. And I definitely love like Insidious. You know, those
The little
like
boy.
Sinister, Insidious, The Red
Woo.
Door,
Yeah.
all of those really creepy ones.
Yeah.
What else? Rob Zombie,
Oh
you know,
man.
he's another one. I said I'm gonna add like five more to make it 10. So you
Uh-huh.
probably hear Insidious Idols 2 with
Oh
some
man.
more like Rob Zombie and a couple of
Oh
others. And I just love that dark soundscape too. Something
okay.
about it that I like it. And
Okay.
I always tell people that I listen to a lot of Memphis music
Okay.
in the 90s, and you know Triple Six Mafia had that
Yep.
dark
Triple.
sound, so I like that sound.
Yeah.
So I've always been influenced, I feel like, from that sound, follow me into this soundscape from that soundscape. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care where you from, if I like the sound, I like the sound. So I
Yeah.
actually like that kind of dark soundscape, and I think that just carried with me. As I always tell people, Gangsta Boo is a
Oh
another rap
yeah.
influence from my harder side,
Okay.
Gangsta Boo and the chat. So that's a different influence side of my music. I don't think I just have. That's why I'm able to get in so many different bags, because I listen to so many different forms of music, and I like
Yeah.
so many different types of artists. I don't
You
just
have
stick
to.
with one type of soundscape.
Yeah. No, and it was clearly apparent that you can just hop theme to theme and show your versatility, and it was amazing. Like yeah, just I was like, can she can she maintain that whole theme? You did. You knocked it out of the park. And
Yeah.
my wife, she loves horror flicks, and we used to get into arguments because she used to want to watch horror movies, and I'm like, oh, why do you want to watch movies that make you feel uncomfortable?
I love it.
Like, oh,
I
man, dude.
love the scares. I just be waiting for the scares. I'm sitting there like, you like being. I love the suspense.
Yeah,
And
I think
sometimes
that's
the
it.
certain ones that's too gory. I might
Yeah.
not be too much of a fan of the gore, but I
Uh-huh.
Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, like those series that Wes Craven and things like that. Those were very creative. That took horror to
Yeah.
another um level, and I think it's just fun, those little jump scares and the screams. Scream franchise. Like, I love that
Yeah.
franchise of movies.
Yeah.
So it's like it's fun. That's how guys used to get the girl to jump in their arms. You take them to the scary movie, right?
Yeah, that's true. I like the scary movie Wayne's Brothers brand. Those are
Oh
the
my
ones I
god,
like.
yeah, and I love that one too, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's my
Hey, so
hands
are you?
down. That's the favorite one right there.
Yeah. Yes. So those are the kind of movies I like. Hey, are you into Halloween too? Like, do you like to dress up then, or
No.
not really? Okay, I'm a Halloween dude, so which is weird
No,
because I don't
yes,
like horror
now see,
movies.
that's the crazy part is me being Muslim, I
Oh, got it.
don't
That's right.
really, yeah, I don't really do
Celebrate.
Halloween.
Yep.
Now, when it came to my daughter, because you're in school and all of these things,
Yep.
I would let her dress, but she would have to dress as something cute
Yep.
or positive or angelic or something like that. But I
Yeah. Yeah.
wouldn't let her do like the creepy stuff,
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
I would,
Understood.
yeah. I don't celebrate Halloween, but even though I love October because they put all the good horror movies on, but
They sure
I don't
do.
study Halloween period
Yeah.
or
Yeah. That album.
holidays for that matter. Anyway, so it's like,
Yeah. Good point. Well, the album was great, and I loved the Pike and Pendulum had such a wicked sample. The
thank
feel, your
you.
delivery was very irie, and it was wild. And then the second track, Master of Suspense, all your Psycho, Norman Bates, and Hitchcock references. I was like, man, just
Yeah, I wanted
painting a
to know if
picture.
real Hitchcock fans would pick up on. I named probably like seven
A
out the
lot,
Hitchcock movies.
yeah. I was like, she is on point and killing it. And then you had that track, Doctor Sleep. And first, that name is mad scary, but it's like, man, you want me messing with the Doctor Sleep, dude? I was like,
That's another good movie from Stephen King.
oh,
And
I
I
didn't
was
even know it was a movie.
It's
I
a
just thought it was a freaky
movie,
name.
Doctor Sleep, and it's the sequel to The Shining, and it's good.
Dude, I, yeah, I was like, I don't even want to meet Doctor Sleep, dude.
Doctor
But
Sleep, yeah, you don't want to tangle with that one, but Doctor Sleep is actually a really good movie and book. I have the book as well.
I like the song better. Vamonos, go punch holes in their
Yeah,
abdominals.
Dominoes, right? I wonder if
Yeah,
Stephen
that
King would approve.
magic abracadabra, Rose had to come snatch your soul. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
and
man,
because you know what, there's a
lyrics all
character
day.
in there who's very sinister, and her name is Rose the Hat.
Yeah,
So, yes, I tried to add all the nuances from the current one. And then in the second verse,
yeah,
I
killed it.
brought up The Shining and The Overlook and things like that,
Yeah,
and some other Stephen King movies. So I try to always throw the references to their movies in there just for the
yeah,
fans. So I want to see if people will pick up on the title.
yeah. I don't even like horror flicks, and I caught them all. I was like, oh, yeah. And the cover art was super cool, right? Oh man, just the
Right.
faces and oh, it was dope.
Yeah, I asked
Yeah,
him, can you make a collage of all of these people I'm gonna rap about and all these little
yeah,
movies and stuff? And Sammy did an excellent job. We
yeah,
had the idea to do this last year, so we actually saved it, and within that week, I just started recording.
yeah.
We kind of changed up two tracks, which one of them was Pipes and Pendulum. That was a new
Okay,
beat, so I just wrote that overnight and recorded it, then sent it, and he did it, and I did that in a week. Then I did
amazing.
raw repertoire in like 3 days. So like I just when I
Wow.
get in the mood to get the project done, then I finally just say, okay, let me get the project done.
Yeah,
So that's how
that's
I work.
amazing.
So I have a deadline. So when I have deadlines for things, I
Yeah.
like to make sure that I'm on course.
Oh, I love it. And so, yeah, a great album. And in general, too, your art is dope. I love the cover art that you use for all your projects.
Thank
So
you.
super cool. Yeah. And so the next album I listened to was Call Me Billy 2 that you released last month. And so that had a mix of producers. And so, oh man, again, I think you sound wonderful on soulful samples and the hard drums.
Thank
Really
you.
started off with the Billy's backtrack. And then you had three features, which were super dope. Goats and Glaciers with Zazagad, who, oh man, Sacrificial Lamb brought to the steeple, Seagull smear they blood across the easel. Oh man, just, yeah. I
Yeah,
just love
Zaza,
the
he's
lyrics.
raw, and I was always impressed by him. And he always has a powerful stance on a lot of things, but
Yeah.
lyrically,
Where's he
he's
from?
definitely beastie. And G Fan Black has been my bro for a while. We have a couple of songs together, so
Yeah, he's
it's
hard
always
too.
dope to get a G Fan Black feature. And King Kamal is newly added to the Triad family, so
Nice.
we just started rapping together, so we got more heat to come.
I love it. So great features on that album, but my favorite song on that album was the Hot Summer Nights on
Oh,
that
thank
album.
you.
Yeah, were you doing a little singing too as well?
Yeah.
And just
I
again,
told
your
you I like
message.
writing songs first. So I said, let me play with some of these soulful songs
Yeah,
and add some melodies,
yeah, that was
Excuse me.
great.
So thank you. I appreciate that because I was just, you know, my engineer, I had problems with my studio I record at home. And my engineer said, look, coming, setting up at your house. We're gonna
Yo,
go. We're gonna get lunch. So we had the Chick-fil-A set up. He came set up the whole
yes,
studio.
yep, I love it.
Look, we was
Oh
lit
man,
up in here, and look, I just started zoning and trying to come up with ideas, and that's what I came up with while he was here, and I was like, yeah, this is I'm gonna do it like this. So I started writing
yeah,
it and recording it, and that was something I kind of did like on the spot. So I was
amazing.
really impressed with how that came out.
Yeah, and just again, as I get older, and so again, I'm all about the lyrics. And then you said something in there that really hit me. The I don't need no validation. I just need peace of mind and a nice vacation, even
That's
if it's
it.
solo. I was like, hell yes,
That's it.
absolutely.
And I
Yeah,
need to go to Hawaii. That's my dream place to go.
absolutely. Yeah, come out by. We'll get you some. Take you out to the beaches out here and get some Hawaiian grub. You and your family.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's my dream place to go. Actually, that's probably my dream place I said to retire and move to too.
Ooh.
But
Uh,
yeah, you just sometimes I do this for me. I do
yep.
this because it's my passion. I love contributing to the culture.
Yep.
And I don't need anybody's validation. And for a long time, when I stopped, I let people's opinions hold me back. I could have been so much further along now had I
Yeah.
not had the weight of people's opinions having me feel like I wasn't good enough. So now I know I don't need that validation anymore. And now I
100%.
feel like I'm able to move in my own way. I'm more confident about who I am. I'm not confident about my looks, like, oh, I'm not pretty enough or I'm not good enough. So I feel like that those were the things that was holding me back. So now I don't have the weight of people's opinions anymore holding me down.
Yeah. No, 100%. And so thank you for that. Another song that's going to be topping the playlist for me too as well. So yes. Um, so with that, hey, I wanted to talk about the albums that you did with our mutual friend Chrome, and so I want to bring up the
Yeah,
first album. Yeah, the Dynasty of Dominic Devereaux, right? So written
yeah.
from the perspective of old school Dynasty character Diane Carroll. Man, that was another great theme too, as well. And, and I heard in another interview, is this the album that you wrote in one night?
One night,
I
one
could
night.
not believe it.
I
That's
hit
crazy.
Chrome. Chrome said I got free beats up, and I had just did the Pollock song with him and Callie. And
Yep.
so I'm like, okay, let me check see what Chrome got going on. Because
Uh,
I was hearing some really dope stuff on his page and how he was remixing people
yeah.
joints and stuff.
Yep.
So I was like, that's fire. And so that night, I have chronic illnesses and I have this rare genetic disorder in my brain. It gives me like super bad headaches, severe
Oh.
pain, sometimes Bell palsy, like my face will be like Conway's, it'll
Mm,
distort and be like that for a minute. And I was having a really I was feeling really bad that night. And in order to not start panicking and having anxiety, I
yeah.
just said, okay, let me listen to Crohn's Beats. And I already had the idea for the Dominique Devereaux because there's a Dominique Devereaux page.
I
So I
love
was like,
that.
ooh, it would be dope to have a project with these sound bites in the front. So when I started listening to some of the beats, I went to the page. I sent the sound bite to him.
Yeah.
I went to the beat. Can I have this beat? Then I went to another beat. I sent the sound bite. I want the sound bite to go to this, and this. I did this all in that night. He
That
played
is
the track,
wild.
and I recorded those tracks. I was up till 8 a.m. I said, I'm sending you the file. He's like, you did all of this? I think with the
Okay.
exception of one, because I wanted to change out one of the beats. So he went and specially made another beat within
Wow.
another day or so. So within 3 days, we put out that project.
Woo. Yeah, that was too. You just killed it with the theme and the first song, "Brunch in Rome Villas." That was
Yes,
perfect. You set it off right. I mean, I felt like I was on some Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous show, and the lyrics were on point. And
thank
then my favorite
you.
track on there was Chanel Shades. Yeah, I look good
Yes,
with my Chanel Shades. All I do is rhyme, chill, and
and
get
get
paid.
paid.
Yeah, the theme was on point. Yeah, and you mentioned it. I love all the Dynasty Show samples. And when I heard on a different interview that you wrote that in one night, I was like, geez, bananas.
Right, because you know
So
what it is. As a writer, I I probably use that in my music. I had to embody Dominique Devereaux.
I love
So
it.
that's why that's another AKA alter ego of mine, Dom Devereaux.
Yeah, I
So you
like
see, I
that.
have alter egos like Call Me Billy
Yep,
is Billy. Like Billy is like the cocky, like I'm the number one and ain't nobody above me. You know what I'm saying? Billy is the
that's
cocky, the
right.
goat. You know what I'm saying? I'm the goat of this shit.
I
Dom
love it.
Devereaux is the sophisticated
Yeah,
diva, mogul, bougie. La Bruja is the wicked,
I
spell
love it.
casted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Scary person, and then Indigo Blanco is the gangster. So it's
I
like
love it.
all of the alter egos I have different purposes. So when you hear the rhymes, I go in and out and embody those characters, so that way it
Yeah,
carries the albums better. So going into Dom Devereaux mode, that's why sometimes I was rapping from my perspective, other
yep,
times I go in and out and rap from her perspective. So
yeah.
that's
I
how
like it.
you got to do that to keep with the concept.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we as people have different personalities in different situations. So I love the alter egos, and it works. It makes sense. And that album too. I was like, you man, you stayed on point. And then you did it again on the Return of Dominique Devereaux, the second project in November. I said, whoa, she did it again. And this one too. The beats were really more upbeat too, right? And I love the
Yeah, I
move
wanted
from
to
both
do something a
albums.
little Studio 54.
Yeah, and so that first track, Mink and Diamonds, the beat was crazy. Loved the sample, that was my favorite song. And then I heard the third song, Caviar Bars, and I was like, oh, this is my favorite song. And yeah, it's crazy, right? We just kept going on that, and I think I love the horns that he sampled on that, and just the
Hmm.
Caviar Bar game track. It
Yep.
was crazy. Yeah, that whole album too. And then I
Chrome
thought
has Chrome has a definite
the
magical
drums.
touch. Like our chemistry is
Yeah.
really good and in sync. And I'm actually working on a project called The Seven Wonders with him. I told
Okay.
him I don't know if you watch if you don't watch American Horror Story because you don't like horror, but there's a
I
there's
don't.
a show called American Horror Story, and they have a episode, well, one segment of the series. I can't remember which season it was, with the
Uh-huh.
coven. So it's a coven of witches, a school of witches, and
Okay.
in that season, you have to complete the seven wonders to become the supreme witch.
Oh
So in
wow.
order to be the head witch, you had to go through all
Yeah.
of those tests. So that's the
Uh,
seven wonders is based off of that. So that's why I put out a couple of samples. So that's why you see the witches, you
I
hear the
see.
little spooky samples. So Chrome specially made those tracks for that. And
Okay.
then also gonna drop much like a Dominique Devereaux, an Eartha Kitt album.
I've read that. It was the Down to Earth kid,
Down to
right?
Eartha
I was like,
Kitt, yep.
I love the theme. I'm a big Catwoman fan. I used to have the biggest crush on her back in the day. Oh
Yes,
man.
she's an
Yeah, I was
icon.
excited.
So Down to Earth the Kid project coming up soon. So he's working on the beat. So I'm excited. Me and Chrome always create something magical. So I'm excited to
Yeah.
do that and have another tribute to another remarkable black woman. And I think I've told people
Yes.
before, Dominique Devereaux always resonated with me when I used to watch
Okay.
it. As a child, my grandmother would be playing these things, of course. And so I'm sitting there watching these shows like these,
Yeah.
like what are these people? But then I saw this powerful black woman that resonated with me, and it was like I want to
Yeah.
be a businesswoman. I want to be this and that. I actually have 2 degrees in business. I went to school for business, and I have that mogul mindset.
Wow.
And I feel like some of that from that imprinted on me that I can be a boss like she was, and that
That's
always
right.
stuck with me.
And that's a good point. Representation matters too,
And
right?
that's
You
why
gotta see.
representation matters.
Yeah.
When I saw that, and
Yeah.
she was probably one of the first black women to be put in that light, that really had an impact on me.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got you in some cases you gotta see folks that look like you, right, to get inspired. And so yeah, I
Get
absolutely agree.
inspired, and imagine me, a little girl. I'm probably don't even know what the hell they really talking about for real because I'm so little, but I'm like, yo, I want to be like that. I want to be this
Yeah.
businesswoman. And I felt like I embody that. And I'm definitely bougie, so me and her have that in common. So
I
that was
love it. Yeah, that was a great album, and I was going through it, and then it was weird. I was like, okay, this is my favorite track, and then I heard "Party in Parisian." I was like, oh, okay, no, I
oh
like this
yeah,
song.
we party in Parisian Chateau.
Yeah.
And let me bring that shit back, yo.
Oh my gosh! And then finally, I got to the end, and I was like, nope, this is my favorite song, top tier. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, anything I do is top tier, billionaire status, baby. By
But
next year,
next
claiming
year.
success.
Where my
Yeah.
billions
Oh,
at, y'all? I'm waiting.
I do not acknowledge fear, and the lyrics just also hit me up. So that was weird. I just kept going. No, that's my favorite song, and I kept doing it for the whole album. But top tier was my favorite song for that
And
project.
last year really inspired me to go even harder. You feel me? I dropped
Yep.
8 projects last year,
Okay.
and I think right now I'm probably at project plan, maybe 12,
Wow.
project number 12 for this year. So I'm really
Prolific.
working, and as you see, like people like, oh, but there's so many. But the thing is, with again with hip hop nowadays, music doesn't last long in hip hop. Once the
Yep.
album is out and the DJs play it, they're not going to replay that album again next week. They've already
Yeah.
used the songs. They want exclusive stuff. So that's how I always stay in rotation because I always have something fresh to
Yep.
be in the rotation in the next
Yeah.
week or so. So and I've
Yeah. And
done
it's
that
all
consistently over the past 4 years. And the
yeah.
goal is consistency. I had to take my time initially at the beginning because
Okay.
I hadn't developed my sound. Once I
Okay.
figured out what I wanted to sound like and I start through, I'm still developing my sound in actuality.
That's right.
Like raw repertoire is kind of it hit the cusp of this is what I want to sound like and this is the level of what I want to sound like and call me Billy. So
Okay.
like those two things, the more I elevate, the more I get closer to the sound. I'm still trying to figure out my sound, but
Yep.
that was the
I know
whole point
that.
from before, taking my time, figuring my soundscape, playing with different sounds, and also the curation. So I'm really
Yeah.
proud because Bandcamp did a write up about Rugged Triad. In particular,
Nice.
my artist Nivek, I curated a project for him called
Okay.
the King's Regalia, and they spoke on that, and they spoke on
Ooh,
how Triad has been dropping heat for the past 3 years. So I'm very
yeah.
honored that Bandcamp recognized that, and that was the
That's
overall
dope.
goal was for people to hear my curation, not just for myself, but I
Yeah.
wanted them
The
to hear my
teams.
curation for other people that I have an ear for this music and I can curate for practically anybody, honestly. I just need
Yeah.
you just it's about having the right chemistry, picking the right beats. I'm just very particular about beats. It doesn't matter
Yep.
who the producer is, because I've gotten
Yep.
beats from some really big people and big packs, and I've only picked two out of the pack. So I don't
Yeah.
go for clout or these beats are from such and such. I go with what resonates with me because I need to make sure that the chemistry fits and then I'm able to write in it. I'm really proud of what I put out. So I select things solely based on it has to really strike me that that's
Yeah.
something I want to work with. But yeah, the music is just, I'm still learning, still mastering, still honing my craft. That's why I said abstract flows, still the tab floor, but sometimes it be off. But then you know what I attribute that to? I love MF Doom. MF Doom
Woo!
just rap
Yes.
how he wanted to. And I figure that I rap how I want. I put how many bars I want. I put the hook where I want it to be. I put this where I want it to be. I do what I want because it's my music and I'm gonna do it how I want to do it. Now how other
No,
people tell me to do
no. Hey, that's a beautiful thing. And so, and you touched on, and I agree. Rugged Triad, the team is an amazing camp of producers, rappers, engineers. And so, do you really quickly just want to talk about Rugged Triad Records and how it came to be and how you guys got the name?
it. Yeah. So I was working on a joint with, I can't even remember the name of the damn track, but it was a track with me, Killy Shoot, and a guy named Hustle. And I was like, we sound so good in the track. I was like, we should start a group. And so I was like, I wanted to call it the Triad.
Ah,
And Killy, he was supposed to be there, he didn't. Some people just fall by the wayside. He stopped communicating. It was a whatever situation. Moved on. Um, Hustle was like, "You should make a label." I said, "Yeah, you know what? I should." So I kept thinking about a name, and since I wanted it to be Triad, and Triad is, I'm just not for gangsters. It was Triad is a powerful group of three, so that's
yep.
my definition for Triad. So I wanted something with the trident symbol, the staff of the gods of Zeus and
Nice.
Poseidon and, even Cali, normally gods yield a trident. It's not
Yeah.
a pitchfork for the devil, it's a trident. So I felt the three prongs represented the triad, so I wanted everything in the threes.
Yep.
And then I thought about it rugged, like something rugged. So rugged triad. I didn't
I
want to do
like it.
rugged trident, so I was like, rugged triad, because I wanted to incorporate all three of us being the head of
Okay.
it and not just one. You know what I'm saying? I try to
I love
include
that.
everybody, but it didn't work out that way. But
Okay.
basically that was how I named it. I established that 2020. So I
Yep.
picked another group member. There's a super group, the Triad. Like I said, under Rugged Triad Records, we picked another guy. Things went amok with them,
Okay.
and it just didn't work out. I'm being accused of stealing beats that I'm giving them, and how the hell you steal something you giving somebody? I don't know, but and I'm curating, and I was managing. Stuff was going on without me even knowing. Next thing I know, this is a whole nother record label, and the production that I gave, a project is released under that label from the person who's supposed to be with the triad with the production I gave them. So
Oh
who's
wow.
stealing beats? You feel what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So you sitting
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
accusing me of something, and you turn around and do this. I said I'm done. Then I start getting all these threats. So kill yourself, do this, this, that. So this from people who I've helped. That's why a lot of things you hear in the songs, it be because I get betrayed a lot after really going out of my way to try to
Oh yeah.
help people. When they feel like they have another agenda, then they have to vilify you to justify
What they're
screwing you
doing.
over. So then,
Yeah.
next thing you know, I'm this, I'm that. But like, bro, what did I've ever done to you? Like nothing but like promote you. So okay.
Yeah.
It's a whatever situation. So they did that. And now, I got more artists. I got Doc
Yes.
Terra who does a lot of the art for us. Salute Doc Terra. Over the years, Doc Terra has been the main art person.
Okay.
Recently I've been doing the art, like Call Me Billy. I did the art for that, so I've started doing my own
That's
artwork as
dope.
well.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Shabam has always been behind the scenes, but he's about to come out. He is one of the new triad members, so it's me,
Yep.
Bam, and King Kamal is the new triad, and we'll be
Wow.
dropping the Wake the Gods project in 2024.
Woo! That's a
Mhm.
hard name. And I
Yep.
heard his single on there, "Stars in Alignment," for his
Oh yeah.
upcoming
Well, I'm curating a
Optimizing
project
Blessings.
for BAM. So
Yeah,
BAM's project
OBA.
is called OBA, and it's optimizing blessings accordingly. And
Oh man, I
yeah,
can't wait.
we're halfway through with that one. Has
Yeah.
some dope features. Y'all are gonna love them. Some nice
Hmm.
names on there, and it's just a really dope project. It's really dope. He just lets me curate and lets me do my thing and pick the soundscape. And he's like, I trust you because you got the ear. And that's all I ask is for people to just let me do my thing. Let me
Trust.
create for them, pick the art, pick the music, and we just align the concept, make it cohesive,
Yeah.
and that's what the curation is about. Complementary sounds for people. But for Bam, this is stepping out of his norm for these dark beats that I gave him, and then some other sounds. So, but it sounds really good. And Stars in Alignment was definitely
Yeah.
a hit. Say Me produced that one. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a great track. He did this song in the '90s called Arabian Nights. I don't know if you ever heard it, but
Of
oh
course.
my God. Oh, that was like my theme for like a year. And so I love that song. So, yeah. So that's
Everybody,
all.
when you mention Bam, they talk about that song. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were
Oh, I still got
rehearsing.
that
He
on
had a show
wax.
in New York recently, and we were rehearsing, and he did this big set, and he was like, "I have to do Arabian Nights. I can't not do
Yes.
that." They would have a fit.
For sure. Ah, that's my jam. So that's so awesome that you get to work with Double S and you guys are mutually building off of each other. Fantastic.
Yeah,
So with all the music though that you do and you got family and just work, what do you like to do for fun?
fun. Oh man, shop.
Yeah. All
Now
right.
you know what I love. I do love shopping though. I do that every day though. I love to shop. I love the museum. I love art. I like to paint if I get my paints back. Painting is another good pastime. Bookstores. Like my ideal day is like the bookstore with the coffee shop in it, and I just sit in there and get my fill of books. I was telling Sonia, it's like I love the complete works of Shakespeare, so I like to read sonnets and different parts of plays, and
Nice.
you know, I like self improvement books a lot. So,
Mhm.
I love reading those books, and I love fashion magazines like the Vogues and the Bazaars and things like that. So I love going to a bookstore, checking out what gems they have, old versions of books and things like that. And I love the
Yeah.
museum. It's probably my most favorite thing to go check out all the art. Like art, as much as I love kitty cats, I think I love art.
That's so
Art
dope.
as much as I love the cast. I wanted to be an art curator, and my mother was like, "That's not a realistic job." She kind of deterred me from that, but I really wanted to be an art curator.
Yeah.
I had started taking some art courses in college, and they veered me more towards business. When they give you that Myers Briggs thing, they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're a business mogul, you're
All
a
the perspective.
CEO."
Yeah.
So I kind of my mother in my ear, and I'm like, I wanted to really curate art. So yeah, art is just like a thing of mine. And then of course, just sitting back, kicking in good movies. I'm really low key. I'm kind of a hermit, so I don't really like to go out or do much. Probably like fine dining, wine tasting,
Yeah.
things like that. Pretty pretty um, low
Yeah.
key stuff. Nothing crazy, but I would like my easel laying over there in the corner looking lonely. I would like to, go back and stock up on some paints and do some paintings and start putting up my own paintings in my crib. But for the most part, I'm just really chill. Like that's it, and work on this damn music. That's all I do.
Very,
That's
very
why I
cool.
don't even have a pastime for real. I just this music. Look,
Well,
and
very
writing
cool. Yeah.
film. Like I love writing
Yeah.
films, concepts, developing ideas. Uh, I'm gonna be more invested in my film writing next year. I feel like I'm close to having like 30 albums out. I'm dropping like five more albums before the end of the year.
Woo!
So yeah, so I mean, I was actually up. I haven't even been. I haven't been to sleep for real. I went to sleep at 9:30. I set my alarm for 11:30 so I could get up, get like this, so I could get on here. But that's why I say I'm a stickler for time. I don't miss. I don't waste time. I
Yeah,
make sure I get my stuff done. But I was working on another album that's slated to drop before the end of this month. So I
amazing.
just be working, and
I love it.
it keeps me busy, keeps me happy. And then of course I'm a wife, so I'm always cooking and cooking and cleaning and all that good
Yeah,
stuff. And yeah, so that for the most part that occupies my time. and
yeah.
and I like sitting out on my balcony and just
Enjoy.
like look, there's trees here. I'm not in New York. Plenty of trees and grass. I love to just sit and look at the trees and look grass. Try to lure cats over here, so I could pet them. You know, but that's
I love
about
it.
it. I love watching, either out here in with the sun, or either when the sunset is coming. I just love enjoying nature. I love being by water. I love
Mm,
being by a lake and just things that are tranquil is really
yeah.
what I be on. People be like, "Oh, she's so mean." Then like, I'm actually a really peaceful person till you just start fucking with me. Then that's when you get different version of me. You feel me? So
Yeah. Indigo
I'm
Blanco,
kind of
huh?
usually laid back and chill, but
Yeah.
it's like people will trigger the hell out you and then wonder why
Yep.
you mad. It's like
You made me like
you did
that.
some stupid shit. So it's like, of course I'm gonna be furious. Like, stop playing with
Yeah.
me. I'm not to be played with. And that's what I be trying to tell them. Like, everything I rap about, I'm about all of that. Stop playing with me.
Well, that's awesome, and I love how you dip into everything. So as you were talking about how you were into film, screenwriting, and then
Hmm.
music and poetry, like I immediately thought about Tupac Shakur, who was also like really into the different kind of things like that too. So yeah, it's awesome that you are truly a student of the art, and
Student of
so
the art. And shout out
yeah,
Asada Shakur. That is my
mm,
idol completely
mm,
for who I am. When I came here from New York, I was in gangs.
mm,
Um, I was lost. I was just going. And the
yeah,
music of X Clan and Asada Shakur's book really changed my mind, changed my life. It
yeah,
helped give me knowledge of self as I saw the struggle of my people, what we had
yeah,
to go through, and where we needed to be in life. It changed my whole mentality, and that's what made
yeah,
me actually convert to Islam. And
yeah.
I actually had the pleasure of telling Brother Jay, having a conversation with him like 2 hours about how he
Wow.
definitely had a major impact on my life in such a positive way. And I always let people know Asada Shakur is that person for me who
Yeah.
her life story changed my life into to being a more positive, appreciative woman.
Wow. Well, with that, thank you again for an amazing session, man. Before we close this out, are there any projects that you want to highlight or thank anybody or shout anybody out before we
Woo!
uh before we end this? Yeah,
Yeah. You know what? I want to thank all of my producers. There's so many of them. So I don't want to just name a few offhand.
please.
Recently Quenu and Save Me, Texzilla, Goldfings. That's what I said. I don't want to name too many and then I forget some of them, but all of them are just like really great. True Cipher. Um, it's so many Goldfings.
Oh yeah.
Um, who else? Tuna. I have so many producers. It's crazy, but I just want to thank them so much for believing in me, being patient with me because some had to wait longer than others to get their project out. Chrome, for the most part, he's been such a gem. He even mixes stuff from other projects for me, and
Oh wow. Cool.
yeah, he's always just so helpful to me, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that. He has so many talents advice, and I just respect and admire that about him. That he's just such a really genuine person, and it's hard to meet people who are like you, who reciprocate. So he's one of those people who are just like it's such a mutual friendship. I appreciate him, and I want to thank like all the supporters, the listeners who buy the music, the DJs who play the music without
Yeah.
involving politics. Like I gotta be, this super popular person before they can play me. I
Yeah.
appreciate those people, and I never thought anybody would like my music, so it's great to actually have that vibe. I just want to thank the blogs as well for even writing about me because I used to blog, and it takes a lot of
Yeah.
effort and time to blog. So
Yeah.
anybody who's ever done anything, and people like yourself who take the time to just want to find out about me, interview me, like I can't thank you enough for even taking an
Absolutely.
interest in seeing what I have going on. So just thank everybody for like the love and support. That means the world to me, and that's what keeps me inspired and keeps me going.
That's
So
awesome.
shout out my crew. Like I cut my crew down as of recently, but shout out the ones that are left. Sometimes you got to trim the fat, and
Yeah. That's right.
only the strong survive messing with me. So yeah,
Absolutely.
so shout out my crew. All my artists, they're still with me. Like Nivek's been a soldier, and definitely a huge shout out to my videographer Chalice. He's
Nice.
been a gem. He's motivation for me. He's like a manager to me. He's always there, and of course, shout out Shabam. That's like my best friend, partner, everything. And of course, Kamal is a gem, and I got to give an extra special shout out to Sonez. He's been a very big supporter, motivator of mine, and I'm just really appreciative of the people I've met on this journey.
Yeah.
My boy Edom Assassin, like there's so many different people who really uplift me when I'm really down, and I just can't thank them enough. And yeah, I appreciate you for this interview. So more
Yeah.
music to
Absolutely.
come. The projects. Porvu is coming. Brand new beats. Sakura Symphony. 2-9 Kill from Japan. Um, what else? We have the Seven Wonders Project, Chrome,
Yeah. Await the
Goddess
God.
Manifesto, Quake Mob. I'm still trying to ponder between a couple of other ones, but there's gonna be 5 more drops for the end of this year.
I love it. What a good way to close out the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I'm proud of myself because it's not forced. You see, like I do it with such ease. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay up and write this album, and I'm
I
gonna just,
love it.
I never try to compete. It's all just it's from passion,
Yeah.
and it's because I promised so many producers that I would get it done that I want to
Yeah.
uphold my word to them. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Inspirational. Well, I appreciate you being an amazing lyricist, and you are truly a role model to all. Your story and what you do, and how you continue to portray yourself. And I think you truly embody what the hip hop culture is all about. So, thank you again for
Thank
granting me this
you.
interview. And I can't wait to get this story out.
Yes, thank you. Let me know when it drops, and I'll be sure to promote it and post it.
I love it. All right. Have a good day.
Okay, you too.